If you are a fan of cheesy 90s sci-fi films, you've probably watched Starship Troopers, a movie that is so satirically brilliant that people often consider it to be a fascist film. All credits to director Paul Verhoeven and writer Edward Neumeier, of course. But who's that hero who was the beating heart of the Starship Troopers and fought his way into our hearts as well? Yes, indeed, it's Johnny Rico. His evolution is as compelling as it is relentless, and his transformation is an exhilarating dive into the meaning of loyalty and courage. So, what are you waiting for? Join us as we explore Johnny Rico's journey from recruit to hero in Starship Battle.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Who is Johnny Rico? What are his origins? Johnny Rico had it all. Wealthy parents from Buenos Aires, athletic talent, a dreamy girlfriend, and the kind of high school popularity that comes with being the captain of the jump ball team. If life were a game, he was scoring points left and right. Well, except when it came to math. Let's just say academics weren't exactly his strong suit, but he did ace in one subject, history and moral philosophy, taught by Gene Razak. Those fiery lectures about duty and citizenship stuck with him, planting the seed for his eventual leap into the federal service. Rico's high school crew consisted of Carl Jenkins, a brainy whiz with big plans to become a scientist, and his girlfriend, Carmen Ibanez, who dreamt of piloting a starship. Let's not forget about Dizzy Flores, the jump ball team's quarterback, who had an unrequited crush on Rico, who, unfortunately enough, was firmly set and loyal to Carmen. Meanwhile, Rico's parents had other ideas for their golden boy. They wished for Harvard, a cushy life, and eventually taking over the family business, much to Rico's displeasure. His best friends, however, had their sights set on federal service, and so did Rico. What are Rico's defining personality traits? Rico is the kind of guy you'd want in your corner when things go haywire. Someone who's always quick on his feet and never one to back down from a challenge. The epitome of calm under pressure. Growing up in a wealthy family didn't turn him into a spoiled rich kid. If anything, he always kept it classy and never flaunted his privilege. He was never afraid to serve it to anyone either. Rank be damned. In his younger days, he was passionate and a little prone to jealousy, but hey, who doesn't have an emotional teenager face? Things changed when Rico joined the mobile infantry. Not only did it toughen him up, but the war against the Roughnecks turned him into the poster child for determination and courage. As years go by, and in the later Starship Troopers sequels, we see Rico transform into a rugged and grizzled warrior, but don't let the tough exterior fool you, for he's still got a soft spot for his friends. Not to mention, leadership is practically in Rico's DNA. He was the star of his jump ball team back in high school, and even in the mobile infantry, he rose to squad leader in no time. Sure, his habit of breaking regulations and being the fall guy occasionally knocks him down, but no demotion can keep Rico out of the action for long. How did Rico's boot camp shape him as a soldier? Rico wasn't exactly following the family playbook when he signed up for federal service. Despite several threats from his parents, he was determined to follow his dream and Carmen into the enlistment office. This is where things shook out. Carmen crushed it with top scores and headed straight into fleet for pilot training. Carl got snapped up by Military Intelligence's Games and Theories Division, and Rico, well, he got slapped with a mobile infantry assignment. Much to nobody's surprise, boot camp turned out to be Rico's playground. He impressed Sergeant Zim, outpaced his buddy Ace Levy to snag the squad leader's spot, and found himself with Dizzy, who had joined the infantry and transferred to his unit just to be near him. What do they say about the birds of the same feather? Anyway, while Rico thrived in training, Carmen's ambitions took a toll. She dumped him via Dear Johnny video, and things went kind of south from there. Rico made a mistake during a training exercise, leading to a teammate's death, another teammate's resignation, and a crushing wave of guilt. After 10 lashes as punishment, he decided to pack it in and retreat home. He would have made it too, had it not been for a meteor, courtesy of the Arachnids, wiping Buenos Aires off the map, taking his parents with it. Grief-stricken and fueled by vengeance, Rico decided to tear up his resignation, no, literally, and rejoin the fight. What happened during the Battle of the Klendathu? The Federation had a foolproof plan. Swoop in, hit the arachnid home world of Klendathu, and call it a day. Quick and painless. Spoiler alert though, it didn't go as planned. Turns out, faulty intelligence is military for we messed up. In the first hour alone, over 100,000 troops were wiped out, including the most of Rico's squad. Talk about a rough start. Rico was deployed with Lieutenant Willie's Wildcats, and at first, it was going fine. There were no bugs at the landing zones, but as they went further in, they came across plasma bugs and warrior bugs. Rico and another soldier managed to blast 2 plasma bugs, and confidence was really high, till, the swarm hit. Thousands of bugs poured in, and squad leader Ace Levy proved to be pretty much useless, so Rico had to take over. He charged at them, and for a moment, it looked like they might hold their ground. But no, they were overwhelmed and overpowered. The mobile infantry had to retreat, and Rico had his leg pretty much shredded, but he was saved by none other than Gene Razak, the high school teacher turned badass lieutenant. Talk about a reunion. The operation, on the other hand, was a total disaster. Over 300,000 dead and countless ships obliterated. Only a few made it home. And to make things worse, some bureaucratic mix-up reported Rico as KIA. Killed in action. Crushing Carmen. Who's heartbroken now? How did Rico rise to lead Razak's Roughnecks? Freshly patched up and ready for round 2, Johnny Rico, along with Dizzy and Ace, found themselves reassigned to a new squad with an appropriately awesome name, Razak's Roughnecks, led by Lieutenant Razak. This was a team where roughing up wasn't just a suggestion, but rather a lifestyle. Razak wasted no time getting down to business, briefing the squad on the Federation's latest grand plan. Take the flight to the Arachnids, one planet at a time, by launching an airstrike on the planet and then mop off the leftovers. Simple, right? Almost like a pest control, but on a galactic scale. While the Roughnecks were prepped for battle and buzzing with adrenaline, they were unaware of the fact that they were part of a bigger and more secretive agenda. But hey, they were soldiers, not strategists. With Razak leading the charge and Rico itching to prove himself, the Roughnecks set off on their bug-blasting adventure. Their job surely was simple: follow orders, shoot bugs, and try not to get squished. What is Rico's role in the ambush at Whiskey Outpost? After a victory on Tango Urilla, Dizzy finally decided to shoot her shot. Confessions were made, sparks flew, and the two finally took their relationship to the next level. But the honeymoon phase, well, it didn't exactly last very long. The Roughnecks were sent to their next mission on Planet P, where they were supposed to relieve an outpost. Unfortunately, when they landed, they realized that the outpost was under attack, and the sole survivor was the traumatized General Owen. Turns out the distress call wasn't a cry for help, but rather a trick to get them to bug hell. A massive swarm of arachnids ambushed the squad, and several Roughnecks, along with Lieutenant Razak, fell, but they did manage to take down the giant tanker bug. Rico made a desperate call for backup and requested Fleet's craziest pilot, enter Carmen Ibanez, and her co-pilot, Xander Barkalow, swooping in with a rescued dropship just in time. Unfortunately, the victor came at a crushing cost. Dizzy succumbed to her injuries. Told you, their honeymoon phase was short-lived. Soon thereafter came Carl, now a colonel in military intelligence, with even worse news. Turns out, the Roughnecks were set up as bait to test some theory about the bugs' social hierarchy. Real nice, isn't it? As if things weren't bad enough. Apparently, the bugs have a brain bug calling all the shots. So now, the Roughnecks had a new job. Head back to the planet and capture the mastermind. And with Razak gone, guess who stepped up as their new lieutenant? That's right, Johnny Rico. How did Rico become the hero of Planet P? During the invasion of Planet P, Johnny Rico found himself on an impromptu rescue mission straight out of an action flick. Carmen had crash-landed into a cave teeming with bugs, with none other than the infamous brain bug hosting it. With trusty squad mates Ace and Sugar Watkins by his side, Rico stormed the bug-infested cave to rescue Carmen. Chaos erupted, and unfortunately, their heroics came at a cost. Watkins, ever the fearless soldier, decided to sacrifice himself and make the bug hole to ensure his friends had a shot at survival. Let's have a moment of silence for Sugar, the legend. Okay, Rico, Carmen, and Ace barely managed to escape the blast and emerged to the surface where another unexpected twist awaited. Turns out, the brain bug had already been bagged and tagged by none other than Zim, Rico's old drill sergeant. Zim had willingly dropped his rank to private just so he could get in on the action. Talk about a plot twist worthy of its own spin-off. Anyway, Anyways, with the bugs temporarily defeated and the galaxy just a tad bit safer, Johnny, Carmen, and Carl, the OG trio, found a moment to rekindle their friendship. To be fair, I'm not sure if I'd call Rico the hero of Planet P, because there were a lot of other characters who deserved praise too. Sugar. But he did lead a squad to one of the most dangerous battles ever, so. What was Rico's role in the Battle of Roku San? 11 years after the bug-squashing days as a fresh recruit, Rico was now a colonel stationed on the farming planet Roku San. Things were pretty uneventful till the arrival of Sky Marshal Omar Anoki. While Johnny was enjoying some downtime, his old buddy, General Dix Hauser, decided to spice things up by picking a fight with some local farmers protesting the war. You know, because nothing screams great leadership like a good old-fashioned bar brawl. Well, things got out of hand and Dix raised arms, as in guns, to kill the farmer, and he would have done it too had it not been for Rico. Rico stepped in and had to knock Dix out cold, and then, because the base defenses failed, rushed to help fend off the incoming bug invasion. By the time Dix came to, he was understandably ticked off and wanted Rico arrested. Things took a turn for the worse when Roku San fell to the Arachnids, and someone had to take the blame for his valiant efforts to save lives and, not let a general shoot unarmed civilians. Rico was slapped with charges of insubordination and assaulting a superior officer. The brass wasn't impressed by his knock first, apologize later attitude, and Rico found himself on death row. Haha, fun. What is the significance of the Marauder project in Rico's career? On their way back to the Sanctuary, the fleet's top-secret HQ, Captain Lola Beck and Sky Marshal Omar Anoki found themselves marooned on the mysterious planet OM1. Meanwhile, Admiral Nolo Fid, who knew this information, decided to keep the little disaster under wraps, but Dix Hauser wasn't having it. See, he wasn't a bad man at heart, just a tad egotistical. Anyway, he went full spy thriller and faked Johnny Rico's death, just so he could recruit him for a special rescue mission, the one that involved Sky Marshal and Lola. That's right, folks, Rico was back, and this time, it was personal. The truth was, Lola got some serious intel, the coordinates to the Sanctuary. If the Arachnids got their creepy bug legs on this information, humanity's military would simply cease to exist. Worry not, folks, for Colonel Rico and the Marauder team got this under control. Rico led his command staff from Roku San straight into OM1, where they crushed Arachnid warriors without a single casualty and managed to rescue Lola and the Sky Marshal. Not just that, they also found out that this was the home of the Arachnids' ruling body, the Bug Hive, and obliterated the whole planet. He was then promoted to general and permanent command of the Marauder team. From death to promotion, all in a day's work. What was the John A. Warden incident? After the Battle of Fort Casey and the vanishing act of the John A. Warden, General Rico teamed up with the mobile infantry squads AO-1 and K-12 to aboard the trusty Alicia and track it down. They soon discovered that an Arachnid queen had hijacked the ship and was steering it straight towards Earth. And despite their best efforts to intercept the rogue ship near the L-12 satellite base, things didn't go according to the plan. In a last attempt to save Earth, Rico led his elite Marauder team aboard the John A. Warden, but unfortunately for them all, the team was wiped out and Rico was the sole survivor. Thanks to Carl's handy shuttle, Carl, Carmen, Ice Blonde, Rarzas, and Mech also managed to escape. What happened during the Mars incident? What is Rico's role in the Special Operations Group? Surprise, surprise! Rico was demoted from general to colonel and shipped off to Mars because of the John A. Warden incident. Now, stationed on the orbital base Nemesis, Rico was saddled with Lost Patrol, a group of rookie mobile infantry trainers who were more skilled at failing simulations than fighting bugs. His buddy, Ratsas, ever the comedian, kept the laughs coming as their failures went viral on FedNet. But despite it all, Rico held on to a sliver of hope that maybe, just maybe, they had it in them to become soldiers. When bug plasma suddenly lit up the sky and a level 4 infestation was confirmed, Rico was forced to land on Mars with his subpar squad. Things went downhill real quick when Nemesis got destroyed. Their dropship took a hit and they had to halo dive to the surface. Ratsas died during this fall, but they had no time to mourn. They had to nuke bugs, dodge ambushes, and through sheer dumb luck, were helped by George Baba. Unfortunately, although the Lost Patrol made it onto the dropship, Rico didn't. Fear not though, cause it's Rico. He never really dies. With help from a ghostly vision of his lost love Dizzy, or, psychic interference from Carl, Rico fought dehydration, warrior bugs, and conspiracy. The Lost Patrol came back for him, and together, they thwarted the Q-bomb plan and survived a Martian apocalypse. Once again, he was promoted back to general, but this time he was commanding a special operations group consisting of the best from within all the UCF military branches. How do Rico's relationships shape his journey? Through thick and thin, Johnny Rico had a strong support system that stuck by him through it all. There was Carmen Ibanez, his high school sweetheart. They were very much the it couple, till Johnny was shipped off to boot camp, and Carmen, blinded by her ambitions, broke his heart and friend-zoned him, although they genuinely did remain friends till the very end. Then there was Carl Jenkins, Rico's brainiac best friend turned war strategist. Sure, they're pals, but Carl's moves often did put Johnny and his squad in danger. Add to that, his knack of keeping secrets. And you've got a friendship that's part bromance, part trust issues. Then we have rebound queen Dizzy Flores. She'd crushed on him since high school, and she followed him to the boot camp. After his breakup with Carmen, she swooped in and they shared a fleeting but passionate romance, which was cut short after her tragic death at the Whiskey Outpost ambush. In the downtown between bug hunts, there's Lola Beck, another possible fling from Rico's past, and Ratsass, a sarcastic yet loyal buddy who brought some sense of happiness to an otherwise solemn world. Finally, there's Lost Patrol, a team, despite their initial failures, had earned Rico's trust with their loyalty and resourcefulness. Marvelous verdict. Johnny Rico's journey isn't just about blasting bugs and surviving wars. It's about growth, loss, and discovering what it truly means to be a hero. From a wide-eyed recruit with dreams of impressing a girl to a battle-hardened leader facing the toughest situations, Rico's evolution is one for the books. Now, let's hear it from you. Do you think Rico's a hero? And apart from Rico, who's your favorite from Starship Trooper? It's alright if you want to say it after rewatching it again. We'll wait, and that's the end of our video. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.